obviously, like a few other coaches here, this is your second stint back here at Clemson after returning in December. How much more comfortable have you been this second time around than the first time?
Oh man, everyone is here, so I'm really comfortable. Walking around the building and seeing familiar faces. It's just trying to figure out which door goes where. This place has changed so much since the first time I've been here, but just seeing some of the familiar faces has been really awesome for me, and it's been cool.
The new rule change, Coach Swinney's added and John Scott to the staff. Between those two, yourselves and Coach Eason, is there a program in the country that offers more experience for players?
I don't think so. I think we got a really good group, and I think one of the things that, and if someone does have it, I think one of the things that separates us is that how we feel about each other, how we respect each other, and how we have some of the same thoughts and the way we want to teach things. So there's no ego or anything like that. So that's been really cool.
Coach Eason was talking about moving Peter Woods to the edge on a case-by-case basis, depending on who y'all are playing next season. Obviously, it's not a new position to him, but how do you think at this level? How do you think he's taking to rotating inside and out?
I think he had we tried in the spring, and he went through playing defense in the spring. I thought he had a really good spring. It was pretty cool. Ask the offensive guys how he was trying to run the ball his way, but he's been really good, and we was trying to put him in a position where he can be successful and help the defense.
I guess Peter's lead skill is run defense. I feel like he's more good at setting the edge, or what does he kind of bring on that edge?
Yeah, when you get a guy, as big as he is and as strong as he is, and a lot of times he's going to be matched up versus tight ends that's 250, 260 pounds, and here he is 315, 320, and you're trying to block that guy consistently. I think eventually that guy may go back to the sideline and say, "Coach, don't call that play again." So that's our objective.
What are a few things that, when you got here in December, that you wanted to address between then and now, and how do you feel like you addressed those?
Just an attitude. Just play with some toughness, a mindset, and not saying that they didn't play with some toughness before, but just making sure that when we get to where we're going, that we get there with some bad intentions. We really want to put our hands on somebody and make them feel us. So that's the whole objective of the spring. Just bringing that attitude and that. You know what I'm saying?
You feel like you've seen that?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. We got some work to do, but it's gonna get there.
Coach, what are some tactics or drills or ways you try to instill that into a team to raise that intensity and that physicality?
Just the intensity, drills are drills. You go to Georgia, you can go anywhere, and the same drills we're doing is just, what's your intent? What's your intention to details? What are you trying to accomplish? Sometimes guys just do drills but we want to do drills that's meaningful. And then when we do it, we want to do it with an edge about us that we got a saying, when in doubt, choke or joke out. So that's what we're trying to do every play, is choke or joke out.
I think this is the first time they ever tried to reach
It happened before, and it was really interesting. I don't want to get into my details about it, but it was really interesting. It wasn't the right time at that moment, but this was the right opportunity, the right moment in my career and where I was. It was just perfect.
Coach Lawson seems to have come a long way since he first stepped foot on campus. That interception he made in the spring game, he looked like a DB. How impressed are you with his athleticism, his ball skills for a defensive end?
I just pulled out one of my own tricks. I'm happy for that kid, man. He's a guy. He has a lot of energy, man. He wants to please coach, and man, he worked hard. And just to see him make that play was it blessed me. I probably was more excited than he was about the play, and the sky's the limit for him, and I'm excited for where he is, where he's going. So it's going to be a really good ride with him.
Coach, from a development standpoint that you were able to see in the league, what do you feel like you were able to bring from there back to the college game now that you spent some time in the pro to help those guys get to the next level?
I think sometimes, just the attention to details, just being on top of things, having an eye on what to look for, maybe, you know, the foot pointed this way, the hands this way, the eyes this way, just trying to really break it down and just, you know, get those guys in. Because, you know, in the pros, you're dealing with the best of the best. And so you see how those guys work and you listen to them and collaborate with them and just trying to bring some of that knowledge from, you know, what I've learned from some of the great guys that I coach and implement it here at Clemson with my guys.
What's your assessment of Hoffler after the spring? How much did he progress and what you see sort of?
Man, he really progressed really well. It was a shame that he got hurt during the ball practice. I wanted to see him play, but man, if you see him, he's put on about 10 or 15 pounds. He's starting to understand the game. He's one of those guys. He's really smart, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but when you're as smart as he is, sometimes you can become a robot. So, you know, you say, hey, I want you in the B gap. You know, he's going to be in the B gap, but if the ball runs in the A gap, you know, he won't rip off and make the play in the A gap. Coach, you told me to be in the B gap. So trying to get that robotic out him where he's just a player and just out there doing his job, but also, you know, making a play when it happens.
Because you hear so much the last, you know, couple of years about the challenges of college football coaching these days with NIL and portal and all this stuff, and guys maybe wanting out to go to the pros, you will go in the other direction. Do you find that some of the maybe narrative about what the job is now is overblown, or what sort of drew you back into this?
Oh no, it's not overblown. I got some buddies that coach some other places, and they're miserable. I mean, they're miserable, making a whole lot of money, but they're a whole lot of miserable. I think the way that Coach Swinney does it is I don't think it's. You know, I've got a lot of friends around, and there's not a lot of people doing it the way that Coach Swinney is doing it. NIL, the transfer portal, and the way that the schedule is, things that he, you know, expects out of us, and the things that he doesn't want us doing is just unbelievable. I talk to my friends and I'm telling them, you know, our schedule and how we're doing things, and they're like blown away, like, man, you know, if anybody ever leaves, like, hey, I want to be there. And then you look at the staff and the people that's around, they've been here forever, and you know, I know, who is it? Nick gets calls every week for, you know, jobs, NFL jobs, and, you know, jobs at other colleges, and he just turns them down. He doesn't even pay attention to it.
With Woods, back and forth, I guess, is there an optimum weight when sort of
Yeah, you know, you want to give him a number, but you don't really want to cheat him. You don't want him to get light for the defensive end. Then all of a sudden he goes into inside, and now he's not feeling strong and powerful. So you sort of playing with that number. So if he's around that 305, 310, 315, and I think that'll be really healthy for him. And I think he'll feel secure and being strong, not, you know, strong and quick on the edge, but also powerful on the inside when he goes on. So just sort of playing with those numbers where he's sort of comfortable. Great question.
sounds like not an easy balance, I guess.
It's not.
The last guy that did that here was Christian Wilkins. Now, he also got in on offense a little bit, as Peter said, like, well, look, I'm already doing these two. Why don't you let me get some fullback reps?
Hey, don't let him hear that, man. He may be asking for it, but if he gets this down, then you never know. You never know.
When it comes to TJ Parker, someone that was thrust into a lot of playing time as a freshman, how big was it for him to be successful in doing so, and how have you seen his game grow heading into year two?
You know, his game is really taken off. He gained a lot of weight this spring. Off season, I think he got up to like 275 pounds. And if you saw him in the spring, and he knows that he was out of shape. I wasn't happy with where he was, and then all of a sudden, he's texting me pictures now. He's like 260 pounds. So I'm like, I'm happy for him, but I mean, his progression and where he is, sky's the limit for this guy. I mean, he's him and, you know, potentially Pete on the edges. I can't imagine two better defensive ends in the country.
Do you see Peter as being majority one spot or the other? You know, like the idea that it could be, you know, 75-25, 50-50?
I think a lot of that's going to be game plan, and then there's also going to be the development of the guys behind him. You know, those guys really step it up, and then we're like, you know what? We won't lose anything, lose much if we put him inside full time and then have this guy at defensive end full time. So we don't want to rob Peter to pay Paul. We want to sort of like balance it out, but we also want to get our best 11 on football field as well.
Who do you think are the guys that are really kind of challenging to make that situation occur?
You know, we got a couple guys, a few guys. You know, you got Denhoff, a guy who's been around a while. You got Jahiem Lawson. You got AJ, and then you got Jahiem Patterson. So those guys, the beautiful thing about those guys is that they're different body types. And so we just got to make sure that we're putting those guys in the best position to be successful.
I guess Jahiem Lawson, where is he physically in terms of, I know he was a guy who came from college, like 200, 210 pounds, kind of, where is he physically?
He's strong. He's quick twitch. He can rush the pass. I'll tell you that much. He can really rush the pass, and he's improving on, stopping the run. So I just tell him, if you want to rush the pass, and to get the 3, you got to go to first. And so you got to be a good run stopper.
What are some things you're really emphasizing or you want to emphasize this fall?
Just like I said, toughness, understanding the game, being a student of the game, and understanding football situations, and just being a really good all-around football player and finding your niche in this defense. Yeah. Well, it's just that. So we had to work on all of it. But he's done that, and he had a little D, so he wasn't able to really. I think the main thing is just getting his lower extremities stronger because of the knee and stuff like that. And so I think that hurt him a little bit, not being able to get in the condition. But now he's healthy, he's looking good, he's out there running, lifting, and I'm excited for him.
You mentioned sort of both sophomores, like you just mentioned. Very tough thing. These guys are still very young players, so they're just shoulder more responsibility.
Yeah, it's tough, man. When you get a guy that young, and he's having not only the success on the football field, but now we're looking for him to be a leader. And before he's been sort of like, you don't want your leaders, you want an older guy, you want a junior, senior to be the leader. But now these guys are sophomores, true sophomores, and they're almost the face of our group. So it's been it's going to have to be a coach's-led leadership until those guys, get the reins and run with it. And I think from what I've been hearing this summer, those guys have been trying to do that.
What makes Jahiem unique as a pass rusher? Is it his first step?
Who's that?
Jahiem Lawson.
That's first step, man. He's so quick. It helps when your brother plays in the NFL also, and he's telling him some little tricks and some secrets and stuff like that. But he just understands, it's gonna sound crazy, but he knows his body. He knows what he can do, what he can't do, and he knows his strengths, his weaknesses, and just has it. It's just a natural.
If you're playing tackle, who would you not want to stay in front of Peter or TJ and get a pick on?
Run or pass?
Pass.
Pass. Man, that's a tough one. Because, both of them, TJ is sneaky strong as well.
I assume your answer for run, you'd rather go against TJ.
Yeah, I'll take my chances versus 260 than 300 plus. So I'll go with TJ.
Speaking of blocking, it goes back a ways, but I know you had some battles against Matt Luke in your SEC days way back when. What do you think of him as a coach, and what have you seen through spring about what that offensive line looks like?
Man, I tell you what, we've had some really good battles, and not only, it's one thing to being a good coach, but when your players adapt your identity and they play with that toughness and that grit and that straining, and that's one of the things that has always impressed me about Matt is that I thought these guys always played hard for him. And a lot of times you don't get that. Kids just go out there and they play, but I think with his group and who he is and what he does, his kids really, really play hard for him. They want to see my coach be successful.
Biggest difference between playing in the NFL compared to responsibility-wise, difficulty?
far as when you say you're talking about technique, you're talking about.
Well, I guess what I'm maybe getting at is, I guess, more hard-run stuff in college. Maybe not anymore. There's a lot of NFL now.
I think probably college, there's a lot of some unorthodox formation that you can get in college that you're not going to get in the pros. There's some run schemes that you're going to get in college that you definitely won't get in the pros. So I think the menu that a college guy has to go against for us offensively is probably more in college than it is in pro. But in the league, that guy you're going against is a werewolf. Every week is a werewolf.
That's what you're seeing from Jahiem Lawson. It's in there somewhere. Are you starting to see a player come out that can be impactful on Saturday?
Yeah, we were just talking about Jahiem and how impressed we are with him, how pleased we are with him, especially with his pass rushing ability. And I think right now that's going to be his calling card until he becomes a guy that's dominant on first, second down. But I think his calling card right now is his pass rushing. And he's doing a really good job. He's accepted his role as of now, and he's just getting better every day.
I guess we're not in camp yet, but Darien Mayo just got here. What have you seen from him in terms of what he looks like physically? And do you have any kind of expectation?
Just want him to come in, learn the defense, and I don't care what you do. Just do it full speed and do it with violence. And I'll coach up the rest of the season.
I guess he's 6'7".
He's a big boy.
Yeah, how do you coach a defensive end?
Oh man, hey, coach, you say coach the rest of them. Coach, and there's some things that he's not going to be able to do. He won't be able to bend, and he won't have the first step quickness as Jahiem, but Jahiem won't have the length that he has as well. So you sort of cater around what he can do, what he can't do. You coach him up on the things that he can't do, and you just polish up the things that he can do.
How much do you think you benefit coaching alongside Coach Eason?
How much?
How much do you think you benefit from coaching alongside?
Oh man, just his experience as a player in the NFL. He's a coach in the NFL. He and I had a relationship prior to me coming here, so it's going to be really exciting. He's challenging me, I'm challenging him. We're getting in the meeting rooms, trying to come up with ideas of, how can we take these guys to the next level. We learning from him, he's learning from me, and learning from the players. It's really exciting. It's really exciting to have a guy that kind of knowledge, his background, to be able to sit in the room and just chop it up.
Hoffler hasn't gotten a lot of preseason, I guess, played a lot. What are his assets right now? Where do you kind of see him take the next step?
I think he's becoming an all-around football player. I think, I'm not sure, but I think when he first got here, I think he just tried to focus on rushing and passing. But now he's really taking a liking into, playing with some toughness, playing with an edge, and he's becoming a total player. And so I'm looking for him to take another step this summer right here.
Do you think this defense has changed or evolved since your first stint here, or is it very similar?
It's probably more aggressive. It's more aggressive, and it's more probably more player friendly. For instance, a guy like Jahiem probably wouldn't get an opportunity to play as much because he didn't fit the mold before. But now with the defense, with the flexibility, okay, what can he do? What can this guy do? Okay, let's put him in this situation. Let's create this package where we can maximize his ability. And now, you don't have a guy like himself or AJ or Cade Denhoff or whoever sitting on the sideline because they're not really good run stoppers. But these guys can rush the passer, and they're just sitting on the sideline. So, Coach Goodwin has done a really good job of finding roles for him and allowing me and Coach Eason and the rest of the staff to try to get those guys in the best position to be successful.
You had you lost one defensive end after the spring. How did you guys evaluate that position? Who'd you move up from there, or were you going to help with the depth? And also, did you guys even look at the pool to see maybe if somebody you could find?
No, Coach Swinney asked, did I want to go in the corner and get anybody? And I was like, no, I was happy with the depth and the people that we have on the team right now. So when he decided to to leave, you know, hey, for whatever reason, wish him much success, but we got to keep moving.
Going back to Darien Mayo, him getting here in early May, does that give him a leg up, maybe being in spring?
He got a little later. He got late. He's only been here a few weeks, about 4 or 5 weeks, something like that. So it was late May when he got here. So he's just trying to, get acclimated to, the running, the lifting, and just trying to coordinate his body because he's gonna. These next few months, he's gonna grow. He's gonna get stronger. He's gonna get bigger. He's gonna get faster. So just trying to coordinate all that together and now mold into a football player. So it'll be an interesting camp for him. I wish he couldn't have gotten here early, but he's here now, so we're happy and we're going to continue to develop.
Talk about guys having different roles. What kind of role could Cade Denhoff have? What sets him apart in terms of his skill set?
I think Cade Denhoff I think his ability to play along the entire defensive line, not all ability, but just the knowledge of the game. So you feel good when you have him in. You can put him in any situation. He's going to be able to adapt to it. Where some guys is just at this position, at that position. Where Denhoff, he can go here, he can go there, he can do a lot of different things. So when you put him in, you're not even worried about falling off or him making mistakes and stuff like that. He's going to do his job.
Is the story going to still be at ends for is Caden still going to work at ends?
Yes.
You mentioned some of the stuff that you aren't asked to do or asked not to do that some other coaches have to do. Mind sharing some specifics on or is there an example of something that just Dabo does differently that other coaches would love to be in that scenario?
Yeah, it's a lot of just the recruiting process. We pride ourselves in who we offer. You go and look at some of these other schools, they got 400 commits out, not commits, offers out. How can you recruit 400 kids? How can you recruit 200 kids? So a lot of those guys ain't doing things, they're just going out there just, this school offer, you got an offer. They're running over here, they're running over there, and there's no substance in it. So they're going all over the country trying to recruit, where we just, we're like a sniper. They shoot a shot.
But I feel like there is some external criticism of Dabo for not using the portal, for example, more. But there's, you see this as an asset in being very sure of who you are and what you're doing as a culture and as a program that you can be targeted, as opposed to saying, let's cast the widest freaking net possible and hope we pull something in.
Yeah, we're intentional about who we bring in here, and our guys, they don't leave. Now, can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that our guys will get tampered with. The guys are offering them money. We'll be fools if we think that they're not. But our guys are staying there happy, and so we don't really have to go in the portal. We got a guy leaves here, but our depth and how we recruit and how we develop our guys, we feel strong about it. And we have, if there's a need, all of a sudden we got 4 or 5 defensive ends leave, and we need to go in the portal, then we're going in the portal for that. But right now our retention rate is high, and we're happy. I'm happy.
I guess it's this program's approach to
4 more minutes for Coach Rumph. 4 more
NIL, in
minutes.
terms of we're not getting into bidding wars and things like that. Does that simplify things as well in terms of you're putting other things first?
Yeah, when that happens, it identifies who the kid who you're dealing with. That kid wants to, he's going to school to get paid, or he's going to get an education, become a better young man, better football player, and set himself up for life. And in the meantime, get some NIL. Those are kids that we want. But if you come for money, you leave for money.
I guess Coach Eason's talking about being in the NFL. He obviously has that experience. In terms of talking to the players about financial literacy and that being really important, how much do you talk to them about?
All the time. All the time. We talking about, I give them plenty of examples of guys that I've known is taking care of their money, guys that blown their money. Sometimes we get players on, former players of mine that's still in the NFL. We get them to call in and give those guys some advice about their money and what they should be doing and how they need to be saving. I tell them, and this is what I haven't told those kids, but I tell my boys is, you live today like nobody else, so you can live tomorrow like nobody else.
I guess are there coach in the NFL that were similar to a Peter Woods, or is he pretty unique in terms of his skills?
No, I'm not gonna do Peter like that. He's still a sophomore, so he has a ways to go to get to some of those guys. So he's going in the right direction, but he's not there yet. Got a little ways.